Okay, second grade, this week's class read aloud is going to be different than what is on the page that I sent home a couple of weeks back for week 3's class read aloud. Okay, on this page it says that the class read aloud for week 3 is going to be Memorial Day, which would have gone along with the social studies unit on American celebrations and customs. I had a difficult time finding that book or finding it being read aloud anywhere online, so that is not going to be the class read aloud for this week. I decided to go ahead and shift gears because we are just coming off of Easter weekend, which Easter is also a celebration that takes place in America. And so instead of reading Memorial Day for the class read aloud, this week I'm going to read Happy Easter Little Critter, which is written by author Mercer Mayer, and it's a Golden Book Publishing book. And so this will take the place of Memorial Day. So I will take this for a reading grade, and I will take this for a social studies grade since it goes along with the American Celebration Social Studies unit. Okay? Now, people celebrate Easter for different reasons. One of the reasons a lot of people in our country celebrate Easter is because of the Easter Bunny. When they wake up in the morning, the Easter Bunny's all they have on their mind. They can't wait to go and see what the Easter Bunny has brought them for Easter. So for a lot of people in our country, the reason they celebrate Easter is revolving around the Easter Bunny. Kind of like at Christmas time. A lot of people in our country celebrate Christmas because they're revolving it around Santa Claus and what Santa brought them. Easter Bunny, same way for Easter. But then there's a whole nother group of people that celebrate Easter for a completely different reason. So that's going to take us back to another text, which is called the Bible. And in the Bible, there's a story about a man named Jesus. Now, Jesus was God's son, who God sent to earth to save all of mankind from their sins. And what makes Easter a celebration that a lot of people like to study and celebrate and participate in is the fact that Jesus died on the cross for our sins, and 3 days later he rose again, and that's what we refer to as Easter Sunday or Resurrection Sunday. And as we read through this story, you're even going to hear how the little critters go to church themselves on Easter Sunday. So for a lot of people, the celebration of this custom is referencing what Jesus did for us when he died on the cross for our sins, and that's their belief, and that's why they celebrate Easter. Okay, so at this point we're going to go ahead and take a look at Happy Easter Little Critter. Now, as you look at this book, I want you to think about whether you think this book is going to be fiction or nonfiction. And even looking at the picture, if you decide, let's just say, well, that's fiction, I want you to think about what genre of fiction it even is. You want to pause the video for a second and talk to somebody about that and see if you can recall what even more specific genre of fiction it is. Do that now. If you determined that this was fantasy, you are correct, because as you can see, there's animals on the cover of this, and we know that animals do not talk. So a fantasy is something that not only is fiction, but it can't really happen. Okay? So let's go ahead and listen to Happy Easter Little Critter. Oh, but before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and hold the quiz number up for you to see, because again, this is going to replace the class read aloud Memorial Day. All right? So your class read aloud for this week is Happy Easter Little Critter. And your quiz number is 40593. So you'll take an AR quiz on Happy Easter Little Critter. And again, I'll take that as a social studies grade as well as a reading grade. Okay? It's Easter morning. I bet the Easter Bunny has already come. I'll quietly tiptoe downstairs and find all the Easter goodies before anyone else wakes up. But as usual, my little sister is up before me. I got a toy egg that you can look into, a wind-up bunny, some candy chickens, a bunch of chocolate eggs, and millions of jelly beans. The Easter Bunny gave my little sister the same things. Dad says that's so we won't argue. Mom says we can't eat any of it until after breakfast. After breakfast, we have to get dressed for church. Dad starts the car and we all get in. My little sister likes to get all dressed up, but I don't. At church, I can't see anything because everyone is wearing funny hats. So a lot of people like to get dressed up on Easter Sunday. Maybe they don't dress up for church on any other Sunday, but for Easter Sunday, they like to get all dressed up. After church, all the kids dye Easter eggs. Now, Easter was probably a little bit different for you this year because of what's going on in our world right now with COVID-19, the coronavirus. I would imagine you didn't go to an actual church building. Some of you may have watched church from home, watched it online, watched it on your phone, watched it on your computer. So that looked a little bit different for a lot of people. Maybe on Easter Sunday or even the Saturday before Easter, you normally go do an egg hunt, and a bunch of you gather together and hide the eggs and do an egg hunt. And maybe you weren't able to do that this year because we can't do kind of social gatherings like that. There are several different things that you can do in order to have your own Easter egg hunt. You can do one right there at your house, or if you go to the Martin's Mill Facebook page, Miss Stringer has done a class Read Aloud, and then she talks to you about a virtual egg hunt. So go there and check that out. I think my eggs are the best. While the eggs dry, we have a big picnic lunch. Now that may be something that sounds familiar to you. Maybe every Easter Sunday, you and your family have some kind of special lunch or dinner. So think about what you did for Easter this year. Maybe sometimes you go to a restaurant, but this year you couldn't go to a restaurant because we can't do that right now. So you might have had to have come up with a plan for some kind of Easter dinner that you had at home. For my family, we normally always get up, get dressed up, go to church, take pictures, and then we come home and we usually have a spiral ham with mashed potatoes, green beans, salad, rolls, just a lovely Easter lunch that we do every year. We did the same thing this year, except we didn't go to church. We watched church online, and then we had our lunch. So reflect on and think about what you did on Easter Sunday this past weekend. Then our parents hide the eggs in the field. We're not supposed to peek. Next, we all line up. Now, you might be looking at this, and you might be thinking, that's what we usually do at school. And that's true. We usually do have Easter egg hunts here at the school. And we find a different place out there around the school campus, and we take each grade level and up through fourth grade, actually, line y'all up. And we say, go, and you hunt for Easter eggs. And so that might be what is coming to your mind, what you're thinking about right now when you hear what they do here as far as lining up for their egg hunt. And yes, that would have been something we would have done with you guys if we were here at school. But we're not. So you might be reflecting on what you did last year in first grade, or maybe what you just did at home there with your family this past weekend. Okay, backing it up. Next, we all line up and run into the field to find the eggs. And what I'm thinking about when I see this picture is what you all look like when you're outside here at school, running and looking for the Easter eggs here at school. Sometimes too many kids find the same egg. Sometimes you walk right by an egg and someone else finds it. So here you can see this group, they're diving on it. That might look familiar to some of you. Or over here, this critter walked right by it. Raccoon comes along behind and grabs the egg. That does happen too. Sometimes the little kids don't find any, so you have to help them out. Because if you don't, think about what you think they look like if they're not finding any and nobody's helping them. Here we go. That's what they look like. They cry and they get upset and they need some help. And so you do what's right and you share some of your eggs with them. But by the time we go home, everyone has had a happy Easter. And here you can see the little critter sitting under the tree enjoying what was in their candy-filled Easter eggs. Okay, now your writing prompt for this week is going to stay the same. You're going to go through the writing process and you're going to write about what your favorite holiday celebration is and why. So you're going to start out with your brainstorming map like we normally do. You're going to come up with your ideas. Then you're going to get a piece of notebook paper. You're going to write your rough draft. Then you're going to take out your red pen, you're going to edit and revise it, get someone there at home to help you do that, and then you'll pick one of the colored pieces of notebook paper that I provided for you, and you'll write your final copy to explain to me what your favorite holiday is and why. If you have any questions about any of that, let me know.